holy shit, guys, we just got back from 1917, and it just so happens to be that, you know, we played some Sega games, a company of heroes and things like that. We actually have the exact helmet and the exact rifle that they used, and I just got to say, this film, we did a double feature. We saw Underwater, and we saw 1917. There's a massive difference between these two. This honestly came out in
technically
came out in hold on. Let me just put these down. Okay. So I'm like, why? I'm like, where is this? I tried to go see it and I couldn't find it during Christmas time. And I was like, damn. I was like, so why? What's with this release? It's coming out now when it's already out.
I mean, so if you can technically put it out last year, you can be considered for Oscars and Golden Globes and all those other things. And
they wanted their cake to eat it too, because they wanted to be in the award season and they wanted to get away from Star Wars
and all
right?
those other things. So,
I think that's why it's ended up going in wide release now. Though if you look it up, it says, "Oh no, it's been out forever," but not really. So it's coming out now. I highly recommend that you guys go out and see this.
We all agree on that.
Fucking amazing. You know, it's not a gimmick. What they do here, it is
so it's not like Doom or what was the other bad Doom movie that they made after, like
Annihilation. It wasn't actually all that bad. It's just budgetary stuff. But here's the thing, and dumb choices. But with 1917, they make an amazing choice. They basically film this whole thing like it's one shot.
It's just one long continuous shot. It was so good.
And what that does is it makes you are in the fucking trenches. You are on this journey without a doubt. Would it have been as effective if they just filmed it normally, or do you think it was more effective because of the way that they filmed it, or inconsequential? More effective?
Yeah, because you feel like you're with them in their journey.
Yeah. Just great cinematography, great camera work, great acting, and it really just shows you, again, the horrors of war. And a World War I film where we really don't get...
We don't get very much.
We don't get very many World War I films. I'm going to come out and say this might be the best World War I film I've seen.
I'm trying to think of how many other ones.
Right?
So They Shall Not Grow Old is...
Well, I don't count that.
I know, I don't count that. But that
you guys
was
need to see that. It was incredible. Yeah. That one, you know, in terms of impact, I think that one's actually a little better.
If you like documentaries, like I do, like watch the making of and the original one. It's so good.
Yeah.
But this movie's great, too.
So essentially what we have here is a story of some soldiers being ordered by a general to... tell this one particular battalion not to charge the enemy lines because it is supposedly a trap. They select two officers, one who has a brother in the battalion, maybe to give him a little bit more.
And the other guy was his choice.
More incentive. And the other guy was his friend, and he decides to bring him along. He had no idea what he was signing him up for, to be fair, but he's signing up for horror. So, but to me, I was like, wait a minute, why can't they just radio? I think they set up where it's like the Germans destroyed our radios or something like that.
Yeah, they cut the lines.
They cut the lines, but I was like, there's got to be some other way.
They could have flew over.
I just realized that. The fucking planes, and they show the planes several times just checking on the enemy lines and stuff. You could drop some pamphlets and stuff.
Or land.
Okay, so it kind of, right. Well, you can't land in the middle of fucking no man's land.
But it's not no man's land.
But you can drop some shit. So I was like, well, there wouldn't be any movie. And here's another thing. They only send two guys. I guess you're right. You don't want to send a whole fucking battalion. But I was thinking maybe a squad would have been all right.
I thought I was going to be
whatever.
The nitpicky one.
If you can accept those two things, that they're literally sending two people to save.
Spoilers.
They're literally sending two people to potentially save 1,600 soldiers and all the officers, and that they couldn't they couldn't use the Eagles to fly over Mordor. If you can accept those, this fucking amazing ride. What I want to say is that this is I just envisioned it as I was watching. I was like, after it was done, I was like, this was an emotional, roller coaster. You know how people describe movies? That was an emotional roller coaster. This is emotional. It's in 1917 should be the little gate, and you walk under the gate. 1917, here we go, and you get on the ride, and woo, shit. And it's just I love you because I've watched a lot of films, and I'm sure you guys have probably picked up on it too.
I'm one or two. I haven't seen too many.
You could tell where they cut the film together. You know, it's not obviously one continuous shot.
There was only one that was not very good. Everyone else was seamless and perfect.
Which one was that?
There's one where they're like in the very beginning when they get into no man's land, and he like focuses on a rock when they're not there, and then they moved over. And it was
there were a smash to black when something happens like that. And
Nap
then you know, the water can hide some things, but just amazing. And it really, really just shows the hustle and bustle of war and how committed these men and brave men were to, you know, throw themselves into their deaths almost, walking right into a trap. I don't want to spoil too much. We can talk about some of that in spoilers. Let me just say right now that it is emotional. I don't want to admit it, but I shed a tear at the end. It got me. So, obviously, the polar opposite of underwater, where I was actually feeling something a little bit. So, what about you guys?
This was amazing. I loved the music.
Mm-hmm.
The music, whenever like the action started happening, the music just jumped and it made everything way more tense, and everything was chill whenever it was supposed to be chill. The chemistry between Thomas and Will, that's what you need. That's
it was so believable.
Amazing chemistry. It feels like even though we've
stories they tell, the banter.
We meet him for like 5 minutes,
right?
And you can tell these guys have been friends for a long time.
It's so much they do the show and not tell, which is something that we watch a lot of garbage now. And so when you see someone's like, "Oh, I'm so and so, and we've known each other for this long," it's like, "Why did you just tell me that?" Oh, you don't have the capability to show me the story. And they did a really, really good job, like showing us that there's like an interesting relationship between. They're not the closest friends. They haven't known each other forever, but you know they trust each other. Yeah, and you see them develop like a kind of a more of a trust as it goes on.
Yeah. Surprisingly, and what about you, Alex?
I really liked it. I think that this is a technical masterpiece. Like this is a movie that I think people will be studying as far as the cinematography, the impact of feeling like you're you're the third member of that party, right?
Yes,
because you're constantly around them, you're moving with them. There's times where they're shaking because there's explosions and you feel like you're shaking. You're almost dizzy moving around with them. So I think that's where the strength is. If there is a weakness of this movie, which I don't even think is even that weak, it's some of the storytelling isn't as good as amazing of the technical. That's just it's not that it's a bad story by any means. It's just the cinematography is so good that it looks like the story and some of the dialogue and even some of the situations are just a little less believable.
Surprisingly, what I was going to say is that the film takes us to a variety of locations. Which really showcase this haunting beauty, I want to say, of these war-torn locations. Just real. I don't know how to describe it, but just it's a real treat to look at. But then you realize
it's also horrible.
Yeah, but then you realize like, oh shit, this is fucking
assholes.
crazy.
Why would they do that? Yeah.
Right.
Who shoots a dog?
Yeah. Fuck.
Germans.
It's war, and how dangerous things are. On the turn of a dime, something can happen, and you can, be in a completely different situation and have to deal with something completely different. It shows us the camaraderie between these people, the friendships that form. It hits pretty much everything, and it even hits on how civilians are impacted, and just how orders are sometimes sent, given, and they're the wrong orders. And even if you correct them, tomorrow will be the same shit. It's lots of different themes in here. And they touch on each one of these themes in an adult and mature and respectful way. So film does everything right. Yes, it's a simplistic story. I really cared about these two characters, and I cared about the resolution. I really fucking enjoyed it. So let's go final verdicts.
Final verdict for me is going to be an 8. I highly recommend this. And, yeah.
Okay. I think
we basically touched the points. So.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think this is a technical masterpiece. I think that this is something that I want everyone to watch, especially if people that like appreciate war movies. There were some interesting choices that they made. Now, Sam Mendes did mention at the very end that, you know, it's like based on some stories that I think it was either his uncle or his grandfather, you know, someone in his family.
The film is dedicated to
just
a guy
to someone
who told some stories.
Mendes or something. Yeah. Thanks for sharing the stories. And there's just some like silly, if not completely unbelievable things that didn't fit in the movie at all. And we'll talk a little bit about the spoilers.
Okay.
But it was really, really strong. And look, as much as we nitpick, this is something that I think had come out. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously my favorite movie of the year so far, but that we've seen The Grudge and we've seen Underwater. So it means absolutely nothing. But if
I think it counts,
no.
But it's like it's bullshit. This came out in January.
If this had come out last year, this would be in my top 10 list of the movies that I saw this year. So it makes sense that it won the Golden Globe.
But technically,
and it's really good.
2019.
I don't know. I'm going to give it. So this isn't going to have the lasting impression. Mm-hmm. There's nothing. There's no scenes that are as impactful as something from like Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, there's something.
That's one of the biggest comparisons.
I was wondering.
Like, here's some information.
This isn't legendary.
Right.
This is real. Like this is 10 out of 10 as far as cinematography goes. But like the story, it lacks a little bit. So I don't know if it.
Just because the story is simply okay. This is your.
That's what a movie is for me. Is them telling the story that they want to tell, and I think that the story wasn't as impactful as how they shot it. So I'm gonna give this an 8, and I think this is a movie everyone should go see.
Yeah. Okay. I think that the story they wanted to tell, yes, it's simplistic. Yes, it's not twisty as turny as, say, a Saving Private Ryan, and as elaborate, and with a lot of different elements to it. But my rating is going to be based on how they executed this particular story. I don't think they ever really say that this was a true story, but if it is, I would give it even more rating and importance because they executed it well. But I don't know. They make it a little ambiguous at the end. This is dedicated to this guy that told us the stories.
Yeah.
The stories, not this story. So maybe it's not real. But I'm sure things like this did happen.
Of course.
So I get what you're saying. Saving Private Ryan for me is a fucking 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
This is not a 10 out of 10. I'll give it to you.
I want to watch it again.
We have so many good, Band of Brothers is another example of just truly amazing depiction of what it was like. Yeah. Of course, it's not World War I, but it's really, you remember those scenes, and this doesn't have that.
Yeah, and I guess these rifles are kind of inaccurate. Did you notice there's like a lot of missed shots in this film?
By the enemies.
Well, I guess you're right. No, it was the enemies. But then even him, oh, no, actually, they made badass, right? But the thing is, I was like, God, he has to reload every time, and it's like, fuck, you're there. You're really, the tension is really good in the film, and so I can't let that slide without a 9. I was fully invested in the film, and the story it executed here was executed extremely well. Yeah. Go out and see this one. Yes. You need to experience this. And you will, yes, this is not real, but it's probably as close as you're going to get to a slice of life. This and
They Shall Not Grow Old.
They Shall Not Grow Old. Make that, put those movies on your list and watch them if you have not. So, thank you so much for watching. We are going to talk a little bit in the spoiler section. Thank you guys for watching, and join us in the spoiler section if you've seen it already and want to discuss it. All right?
See you there.
Bye, guys. Guys, welcome to the spoilers discussion. First, I want to say, just inform our movie crowd and our, series and TV crowd that we've got our designs up. We talked about it in The Mandalorian. We were going to put some designs up of our Yodelorian. So you've got shirts, you've got a poster design. If it's not up, it will be shortly up. So check it out. Very limited edition run. Grab one if you want. I think they're freaking badass. ass. We worked with the artist, Jeff Delgado, and paid him, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we got them all up for a limited time. Grab yours now. I'm certainly getting a bunch. And, yeah, so thank you so much. The links are down below. So, spoilers. God damn, the moment they got me was his fucking friend
Thomas
dying.
I did not expect that. I thought they were both going to make it to the end.
Yeah. I should have known because we saw a trailer. You know, as they're running, there's only one guy running.
I thought he was gonna run to help him or something. But
so what happens is, obviously, Thomas is the one that has a brother. He's very gung-ho. As soon as they tell him, you have a limited amount of time, go and tell that division that they're walking into a trap. So he's running. And his friend Will is like, wait.
Let's wait till nighttime.
And so he just
time sensitive.
taking time and stuff. But, you know, and then by the end of the film, you know, Will is the one really motivated because of Thomas's death and his friend's death. And so that storyline is great to me. But what happens in this moment, they make it out there. They realize that the enemy, you know, they come over and they look and all the Germans are gone. It was confirmed the Germans are gone. Them motherfuckers would have been shot immediately if they weren't gone.
Oh, yeah.
But they see him. And so when they get to the next level, they see a little village, or not a village, but a little farmhouse. Dead dog and fucking dead cows. But they kept one cow alive. And later on they mentioned... They're clever bastards.
They had to put the cow in, and they had to put a bucket of milk in for no goddamn reason.
Well, that's what I'm trying. It was mentioned by either the Indian dude or one of the
British
British
guys. They killed
guys.
all the cows, otherwise we'd eat them. But they needed the milk later for a scene that had no impact.
But I thought he was talking about the one cow that left alive. I thought that maybe there was going to be a bomb under that milk container, but there's nothing, and we'll talk about that. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, previously they've seen some planes go overhead. At this moment, they see the planes again, but there's a third plane, and you hear gunfire in the background. And I'm like, oh, fuck, we got a dog. It's so cool.
It's a dogfight.
It's cool, but it's not cool when you realize this is fucking real, and this shit really happened way back in the day. Anyway, it's just 2 versus 1. They couldn't really tell. It's like, is it ours? No, it's ours. And then they're like, yeah, we got him. Because they get the German plane is on fire, and he's coming down, and you think he slams off screen, but no, it comes back up over the hill, and it's like, oh, fuck, it's coming for us. And they start running. It blows up right then. Yeah, a little convenience, but I'm going to allow it for cinematic.
Thomas had
can't be real in that case then.
They're heart of gold.
Yeah. He had a heart of gold. Because what does he do?
He was pulling out the German outside of the
plane. It was on fire.
It was on fire. It's like, we got to help him.
Blood-curdling screams, and the first thing Thomas does.
Well, they help him. And not only do they help him, which is, I don't have the problem with them pulling him out because, you know, they want to help them. They're human beings. You get a human being on fire. But then they pull him out, and he's like, he needs water. It's like, no, he's not on fire anymore. Water's not going to help the burned legs. But
that's what Thomas says. He says, give me some water. Will's like, okay, and he runs off. By the time he gets the water and turns around, he's like, what's going on?
Thomas is dead.
The fucking the pilot stabs the
he stabbed him.
And he stabbed him with his big-ass fucking knife. I guess the German got scared. He thought that he was going to hurt him. But it's like, man, chill the fuck out.
Well, they did pull you out of the burning plane.
Yeah, they pulled him out of the plane. They weren't trying to hurt him.
Yeah, this ain't no real story. That shit was bullshit.
Yeah, because like they weren't trying to hold him, or they weren't trying to do anything to him. They didn't have any guns.
They saved his life.
Yeah. Pilots know that if you go down behind enemy lines, the best chance to stay alive is to act cool.
Yeah, he's probably an officer.
Fuck. I can see why you went to 8 now.
Well, the bucket of milk thing was also really stupid.
It's very manipulative. Now, I'm starting to realize there are a few moments where it's like, okay, fine. So. But on the greater, it doesn't take away from the greater whole.
No, because it still impacted me.
Still
I was
really
pretty
good.
sad. Yeah. Thomas is dead. He's like, go find my brother. He looks like me.
He's dying. He's like, am I dying?
I was like, oh,
this scene's really long.
You're dying.
Like, he doesn't get stabbed and then just like
he tries to pick him up. He tries to move him, and you're like,
it's uncomfortable. It's handled really well. There's a ton of emotion.
Like, you knew he was gone.
Oh, yeah.
So that was one of the best scenes in the film for me. It got me, and then I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't want to do this. And that's what Will was like. I mean, it's like, it just goes to show you. And it just starts. Yeah. I mean, it was already tension-filled, and now we're going on even more tension-filled. So Will is filled with
Now he's got more motivation.
Motivation to get this done. So he's going along. Right then, though, what sucks is another little contrivance is right then they're like, "Are you on mic, mate?" And he turns around, it's some more British soldiers, and it's a different squad that's moving up the lines. It's like, fuck! If you just waited fucking 10 seconds, then the squad would have been like, do not approach him, and probably shoot him or something, or take him prisoner before he could stab him. Doesn't happen. He's like, let's go. So this film's like, let's go. Next scene.
Yeah, so they just drive him 3 more miles down the road or something.
They thought they could take him most of the way.
Yeah.
But they got stuck in mud.
Yeah, they took out the bridge, so they're like, well, this is my stop. I have to go.
So but his stop was right across the river.
You skipped a great moment where, they're driving. These are brand new, battle-worn soldiers. And they, what's up? How you doing? And then they get stuck in the mud, and half of the soldiers help. They know eventually they're gonna get it unstuck, but it's like I have to go.
They have no urgency.
Right, I have to go. So he's like pushing on this thing as well. He's helped me, and a few of them helps. But then the soldiers are kind of rallied by his drive and need to get to the other division to tell him. So everybody helps push the truck out. They go, but then it stopped. The bridge is blown out. So then he goes. Right then, when he goes off to the right, he starts getting shot at. I was like, what the fuck? Why didn't that sniper fire at the sniper knew? No, I ain't gonna mess with the whole battalion.
Many of them. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But when he's off on his own, he's like, fuck. And I was like, why the fuck?
They were still there, though.
Why the fuck is this sniper out here in the middle of nowhere? But it turns out it's not the middle of nowhere. It is a German-occupied city, probably not occupied by a lot of Germans, but a contingency is left behind. So he's being shot at, and he manages with his Enfield rifle. I was like, damn, he's a good shot. He manages to out-snipe a sniper, gets up on him while he's ducking. So he gets that guy. Stupidly, though, he goes up the stairs just to make sure he's dead, and the second he opens the door, the German's there with a pistol.
They
fires,
shoot each other,
They shoot each other.
Hits him somewhere, maybe in the helmet or something.
They never he got shot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He took a 12-hour nap in this timed adventure. It's literally
but then they never speak about it again.
Well, he's bleeding and stuff, and so you just he's hurt.
No, Alex.
I thought
you don't get shot and then later on, he's bleeding from his ear.
Here's the thing. I thought he hit his helmet and kind of knocked him off
balance. I have no idea
fell down
how
the stairs.
They didn't explain it.
He fell down the stairs. That's how he got hit in the back.
But the most important thing is he slept for 12 hours.
No, he got took off his feet. I thought
he did. He falls all the way backwards.
Okay, you can maybe explain it like it skinned his ear and then he stumbled and fell, but it looked like it took his whole feet off.
Yeah.
So I thought they were gonna maybe do the bottle that one of the soldiers
or he had a metal. He had a metal box,
but they didn't do. So shit. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well.
He sleeps
for
12 hours.
They smashed a black. Sleeps for, I don't know, 12
It was light outside, and he wakes up at 6 a.m.
8 hours. Okay, fine. So then...
Fine, 8 hours. It's a timed adventure movie.
He goes through the city, finds this lady.
Yeah.
Y'all go ahead and take it over. Alex, you take it over.
That's his favorite part.
Yeah, he finds a nice little French lady who has found a baby. It's not hers, and she's taking care of it, and he feels bad for her. She's helping him. There's a language barrier, but they make it work. And so he's giving her all of his food because he's about to meet up, he thinks, with the battalion, right? And so he's like, take all my food, and she's like, well, the baby can't eat this, but it's a convenient thing.
Like, don't give me this garbage. I'm like, that's food.
But she can't feed the baby the food, but it's a good thing that one cow was alive, and there happened to be a bucket of milk that was sitting there, even though there was no one there to milk it. And then he filled up his canteen with milk, and he's like, she sniffs it, and she goes like, can you sniff liquid? And just go, that's clearly milk.
Yeah, I think I can smell milk. I don't know. Bad milk you can smell.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
It's been out there for
so
a while.
it was just, it didn't. I liked the scene, but the whole baby I have milk thing was kind of silly. And then he's running through the city. He sees some drunk Germans. One chases him.
And here's another thing. Before he met the lady, he was getting shot out by another sniper. And then the guy runs around. And then the guy runs around, finds a lady. I'm like, you're still under threat.
Yeah.
There's a German that was firing at you, but apparently that German never Okay, I
Well,
might
he
have to
took
lower
off-
my
he
rating
took off
to
running
8.
because he went to go high.
But he's like
You see his
he's firing. He's like,
footsteps.
oh, I missed you again.
Yeah.
I missed you again.
Well,
and
he never alerts any, but that
No, he
German who was
doesn't.
firing never alerts him. And then finally he's like, okay, I got to go. So tells the lady he's got to go. Immediately runs into another German who's throwing up, and he's drunk as fuck. And he goes back and he finds another, like, wide-eyed, younger
He bumps
German
into
guy.
one.
And
And he's like, shh. And then and he was surprised when he takes his hand away and he's like, no, this is a German town.
me!
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, your friend just fucking died after he got stabbed with a knife. You're going to trust this German guy after that just happened?
Yeah.
You're the one that, anyway, so.
There's a Saving Private Ryan moment where they're
It
rolling
gets
around.
real close while the
There's
guy's drunk. Then he realized, what? You know, I don't know what his name was. Thomas or something.
He's not answering.
He's not answering. So he goes over there, and I thought he was going to kill that dude, but no, he just pushes him out of the way.
he
or
chokes the
something.
first guy to death because he drops his knife.
We don't know he's dead. He could have just been knocked out.
He's sleeping.
Right. But anyway,
Sleep.
runs past the dude, knocks the dude over, and then he starts getting shot at from there. Goes to getting shot at from a lot of places. They're chasing him. I'm like, he's fucked. How the fuck he's going to get out of this? But that's when he
Jumps into the river.
the lady had told him, follow the river. And so he jumps into the rivers, rapids, falls on a waterfall. There's another scene transition there, I think, when he goes into the water.
He crawls over some
Yep.
really fake-looking bodies.
That was not fake looking, man.
There
That-
was one
that
or
was
two that
fuck-
were
no.
real horrible.
No, you might have been seeing that they were bloated because they were in the water.
No, I
for
don't mean that
long.
they didn't look
The
good. I mean,
tongue-
it
it was nasty as fuck. Like the tongue was.
a little swollen. Yeah, they were bloated
Swollen.
bodies, but like the faces were real, but they were just stuffed clothing because anytime he would touch them, they would like fold in on themselves. Yeah.
All right. Well, continue.
Then he climbs over the rocks and he hears someone singing, and he goes sit by them, and he forgets he's on a time mission, and he listens to the end of the song.
It's a nice fucking song. That dude has a great voice.
All of those people died because he listened to the song.
Well, not
Hundreds
those.
of people died because he wanted to
Th-
listen
that-
to a
there
Wow,
song.
were
we
the
really
second
picked
wave.
apart this fucking
There-
movie.
They were the second wave.
Yeah.
so the
Or
first
the
one-
last wave.
yeah.
The other people, like, they were the first wave.
No, those people didn't die.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
I love this movie.
give the motherfucker a break.
That was one of the things that like it became so like almost unbelievable, like the kind of luck that this guy kept having.
Sure. That's why I was
That
like,
was-
I can't believe I said it was a true story. There's no way. Okay, so anyway,
Yeah.
but it probably maybe just happened in a different way if that was a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
gotta make it
finally,
exciting for Hollywood.
so after the song, he's like, I gotta find a double battalion, Dublin Brothers or something. He's like, we are the Dublin Battalion or something like that, and. He was like, oh, shit. And then he starts running, and he notices, we're going to war right now. We're going over the wall. We're wave 2. Wave 1 has already gone. Bunch of people probably died. But he's, like, running, and you see these officers are like, hey, hyping the dudes up. And this shot is fucking amazing. Like, I was like, oh, fuck, this must be really. And a few guys are, like, ready to go up, and they're looking, who the fuck is this guy? He's got no helmet, no fucking gear,
Completely
no weapon.
soaked.
like one of the lieutenants or captain, he's just shaking, he's crying, he doesn't know
Oh, he
what
finds
the
the
fuck
captain.
is
He's like,
going
"Where's the
on."
general?" You know, he's like, he doesn't even want to say anything. He's
Yeah.
like, "Fuck you, you piece of shit!" And he doesn't say
Yeah.
that. But eventually, a few of them start going over the bunker, and then you get that trailer shot. And I was like, avoids all the
He's like,
gunfire.
what are you doing? You're crazy.
A few of them fall right when they come out. I was like, wait, why are they falling? There wasn't any bullets going back. I guess it was shrapnel, but there was no, like, explosion for that shrapnel. That's the only thing that I was like, wait a minute, how did those guys die? But it happens all the time. Finally finds the bunker. Of course, there are security at the bunker. They grab him. You're not going anywhere. I was like, do you see? Does it look like I'm a part of this battalion? I guess maybe he could be a deserter who ran back or something. But he's like, you're not seeing him. I need to see him. I have to paper the orders. And
don't care.
They're like, you will not get to him, and then he shoves them so hard that they die. And then he
don't
runs
die.
into the room, and no one follows
All
him
right.
in. They're like, nah,
Alex is off the rails.
he made it
negative
in.
mode. Anyway, so we go.
Where'd those two dudes go?
They're not gonna beat the fuck out of the soldier. Even they, I think, can tell. Wait a minute, this isn't our battalion. You might have an important message. Fine. So he shoves him out of the way. Tells the general, who is
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch, and he says,
Strange.
But we got more news about Doctor Strange today too.
Yeah.
Talk about that
So
later.
anyways, dismisses him. Look, we're already in this. We're already going over the wall. It's like, just read the fucking orders. That's what they want you to do. He reads it,
Yeah, he
stops
tells him
it.
it's a trap, and he's like,
Yeah, stops the charge. But then he makes a good point where it's like, yeah, sure, you stop this charge, but who knows? You know,
The people calling the orders don't care. We're just gonna do it tomorrow.
few days we'll do it. We'll go over again. And he's kind of right. I mean, eventually you're gonna have to attack that line. It's like this war. It ends with, last man standing kind of thing is the point he was making, and a lot of people died in World War I, so I believe it. So, he earns. He's like, get the fuck out of my face. I was like, why? Come on, man. You just saved him. 1,600 soldiers. Don't.
Well,
tell-
1,200. 400 died because
Don't,
he was.
don't tell him.
Song time.
Don't tell him fuck off. So he's like, so he fucks off. But I think he was just being serious. Like, go get yourself some rest.
Yeah.
No, go get medical attention. As he's walking out, at least he gets some proper props from some of the captains and lieutenants. But they say, he's like, where is the brother? Where is, Thomas's
Blake.
brother, Blake? And wow, I remember all the names.
Lieutenant
He's like, well, he was within wave 1. And you're like,
He
fuck,
probably
he
did.
If you are going to find him, you're going to find him in the casualty tent, wounded. If not, you ain't finding him.
yeah, he did.
So he goes to the casualty tent. It looks like he can't find him. But at the last minute, he's like giving orders and stuff and tells him about his brother. Great actor. Totally believe it. There's another emotional part.
I know. He's like, Thomas is here.
Hey,
Where is he?
Where
Silence.
is that
and
rascal?
he knew. He's like, oh, no.
Yeah, you can see him some great acting. Gives him, and this will choke me up, gives him his effects,
Yeah.
like his rings and shit.
Dog tags and
And he's
stuff.
like, can I have permission to... He was going to leave. And he's like, can I have permission to write to his mother? He's like, yes, of course. He's still trying to deal with his brother's death. And he's like, go get yourself something to eat. It's in order. And then he walks off to a great cinematic shot towards a tree. And it's like, he didn't want food right now. He just wants...
Look at his pictures.
Yeah.
And he sits down and looks at his pictures. Apparently, he has a girl waiting back home. Says, come home.
Yeah. 2 girls? Yeah.
Woo! So, what did I
Deep
say?
shit.
A roller coaster fucking ride. Well shot, well acted, well executed. Great story. But upon doing the synopsis over here in the spoiler section, there were a few
Look, I loved it.
unbelievable
It was
moments.
still
I still really liked it.
Yeah.
But it's not.
But this is a reason why you can get an 8 and a 9 with what do you call them? Not plot holes, but contrivances, because when you well execute something, you can forgive
You
these
allow
things.
certain ones.
Suspension of disbelief.
And then every now and then you're like, wait a minute.
Suspension of disbelief.
Milk.
Just
Yeah.
when we talk about it here in
That's
Nitpick.
about it good, Alex. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So that's it, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. 1917, totally worth your time. Ticket
Go
price.
check
See it
it
in the big
out.
theaters on the big screen.
Best movie of the year so far.
No, it was 2019, sir. So 2019
We didn't
for
see it in
1917. And we will see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Go check out the posters, shirts down below. And thank you for supporting the show. Subscribe, like, do all that stuff. See you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.